Hello everyone, and welcome back to Code Your English. I'm really happy that you're here with me today. This channel is a place where you can practice your English listening and speaking in a calm and friendly way. Every episode is designed to help you understand English better and to learn something useful for your life. So take a moment to relax, get comfortable, and let's spend some time learning together. Today, we are going to talk about a topic that almost every learner needs: how to make hard work a habit. Many people believe that hard work is something you do only when you feel motivated or when something important is coming. But this is not true. The real secret to success is not working hard once. It is working hard regularly. When hard work becomes a habit, it feels less stressful, less tiring, and even less scary. You do it naturally, just like brushing your teeth or making your bed. It becomes a normal part of your day. This topic is especially important for you as an English learner. Learning a language takes time, and yes, it takes effort. You cannot learn English well by studying only when you feel like it. You need small, steady practice. You need to repeat, review, speak, listen, and read again and again. This can feel difficult if you don't have strong habits, but when you build the habit of working hard, even small tasks become easier. You stop thinking, "Do I want to study today?" Instead, you simply do it, because your mind is trained to take action. Hard work becomes something normal, not something heavy. In this episode of Code Your English, you will learn what hard work truly means and why it is more about consistency than about speed or pressure. You will understand why habits are powerful and how they can change your life without making you feel tired all the time. I will share simple steps that you can use every day to make hard work part of your routine. You will also hear examples from daily life that show how simple actions can create big results over time. By the end of this episode, you will know exactly how to begin building your own habit of hard work, and you will feel ready to start today. So, let's begin our journey and learn how to make hard work a natural part of who we are. What is hard work? Now, before we learn how to make hard work a habit, we first need to understand what hard work really means. Many people think hard work is something big, something painful, or something only strong people can do. But actually, hard work is much simpler than that. Hard work means giving your best effort, even when something feels difficult. It means staying focused on a task for a good amount of time, even when you want to stop. Hard work is not about being perfect. It is about trying, improving, and staying committed to what you want to achieve. Hard work appears in our daily life much more than we realize. For example, waking up early every day for school or work is a form of hard work. Finishing your homework when you would rather watch videos is also hard work. Learning new vocabulary, practicing English pronunciation, cleaning your room, doing exercise, cooking, studying, or trying to save money. These are all examples of hard work because they require effort and discipline. Hard work does not always look dramatic or exciting. Often, it looks simple, but it still requires your time, energy, and attention. Some people confuse working hard with working fast, but they are not the same. Working fast means doing something quickly, but it does not always mean doing it well. When you rush, you may make mistakes or forget important details. Working hard, on the other hand, means taking your time and focusing on doing the task correctly. It means paying attention, staying patient, and caring about the quality of your work. For example, If you study English vocabulary too fast, you may forget the words the next day. But if you study slowly, repeat the words, and practice using them in sentences, you will remember them better. That is the difference between working fast and working hard. Hard work matters because it builds your skills over time. Every time you put effort into something, you become a little better at it. Maybe you do not see the change immediately, but the progress is there. Hard work teaches you discipline, and discipline helps you reach your goals. When you work hard, you become more confident because you see that you can finish difficult things. Your mind becomes stronger, your habits become better, and your life becomes more organized. Hard work also helps you stay focused on what is important, instead of wasting time on things that do not help you grow. Most importantly, hard work creates long-term success. People who work hard, even in small ways, often reach their goals, whether they want to learn English, build a career, improve their health, or start a new project. Hard work is not about talent or luck. It is about consistency and effort. Even if you are not the smartest or the fastest person, you can still achieve amazing results if you work hard regularly. That is why hard work is so important. It gives you power and control over your future. So, when we talk about making hard work a habit, we are talking about training yourself to give your best effort every day, even in small tasks. Hard work is not something special that only a few people can do. It is something you can learn, practice, and slowly make a natural part of your life. And once you do that, you will notice how much easier it becomes to grow, to learn, and to achieve the things you want. Why should we make hard work a habit? Now that we understand what hard work really means, let's talk about why we should make hard work a habit. Many people think that hard work is something we do only when we have a big goal, or when we feel motivated. But the truth is, hard work becomes much easier when we do it every day, even in small amounts. When hard work becomes a habit, it does not feel like a heavy task anymore. It becomes a natural part of your life, something you do without thinking too much. Just like brushing your teeth, eating breakfast, or walking to school, hard work becomes a normal action you repeat again and again. There are many benefits to doing hard work regularly. First, when you work hard every day, even for a short time, you make steady progress. You might not notice the change after one day, but after 1 month or 1 year, the difference is huge. Small, regular efforts build strong results. For example, reading for 10 minutes a day, studying a few new English words, or writing a short paragraph can slowly improve your skills in a big way. Hard work done regularly is more powerful than hard work done only once in a while. Habits play a very important role in shaping our life. Every day, our habits guide the way we think, act, and feel. If we have strong and positive habits, like studying, practicing, or exercising, these habits help us grow without needing a lot of motivation. Good habits save us time and energy because they make the right choices automatic. On the other hand, if we have weak habits or no habits at all, life becomes more difficult. We have to push ourselves every time, and that feels tiring. So, when we turn hard work into a habit, we make our life smoother, easier, and more organized. We stop fighting with ourselves and start living with more purpose. Another important reason to make hard work a habit is confidence. Confidence does not appear magically. It grows from experience. When you work hard and see progress, even small progress, you begin to trust yourself more. You start believing that you can complete tasks, learn new skills, and face challenges. Every time you finish something difficult, you build a stronger sense of self. Hard work teaches you that you are capable, and this feeling helps you stay calm and focused in the future. Confidence is not about being the best. It is about knowing that you can improve with effort. We can clearly see the power of hard work habits in daily life. Think about school. A student who studies a little every day usually learns better than a student who studies only before an exam. The first student has a habit of hard work, and this habit helps them stay prepared without stress. In a job, an employee who works with consistency becomes reliable and trusted. They finish tasks on time and grow faster in their career. They don't need to rush because they already have good habits that keep them on track. And in language learning, hard work is one of the most important habits. A person who practices English every day, even for just 10 minutes, improves much faster than someone who studies only once a week. The small daily habit makes a big difference. When you make hard work a habit, you begin to shape the direction of your life. You become someone who takes action, someone who grows, someone who builds their future step by step. Hard work as a habit gives you strength, discipline, and confidence. It helps you stay calm, stay focused, and stay motivated even when life gets busy. It is not about being perfect, it is about being consistent. So, making hard work a habit is not just about doing more. It is about becoming more confident, more capable, and more in control of your life. And this habit can start with very small steps every day. The science of habits. Before we learn how to build the habit of hard work, it is helpful to understand what habits really are and how they work inside our brain. A habit is something you do again and again, usually at the same time or in the same situation, until your body and mind learn to do it automatically. For example, many people brush their teeth in the morning without thinking about it. They don't stand in front of the mirror and ask, "Should I brush my teeth today?" They just do it. That is the power of a habit. It saves time, energy, and mental effort because the action becomes automatic. Habits form in the brain through repetition. When you repeat the same action many times, your brain creates a path for that action. You can think of this path like a road. At first, the road is small and difficult to use because the action is new. But every time you repeat the action, the road becomes wider, smoother, and easier to travel. Soon, your brain starts taking that road without thinking. This is why habits can feel effortless after some time. The brain prefers habits because they require less energy than new actions. One simple way to understand habits is through the cue arrow action arrow reward cycle. A cue is something that reminds you or pushes you to act. It can be a time, a place, a sound, or even a feeling. For example, your alarm in the morning is a cue. The action is the thing you do after the cue. This could be brushing your teeth, drinking water, or checking your phone. The reward is what your brain receives after the action. It can be a good feeling, a sense of comfort, or simply the feeling of finishing something. When the reward feels good, the brain wants to repeat the action next time it sees the cue. This is how habits slowly form. Let's look at a simple example. Studying English every day. Your cue could be sitting at your desk after breakfast. The action is opening your English book or listening to a podcast. The reward might be a feeling of progress, a feeling of control, or the small joy of learning a new word. When your brain feels this reward many times, it begins to connect the desk, the book, and the good feeling together. After some time, your brain automatically leads you to study when you sit at your desk. The habit becomes strong. Understanding this cycle helps us see why habit building makes hard work easier over time. When you first start practicing a new skill, the work feels heavy. You need to push yourself, remind yourself, and sometimes even force yourself to begin. This is because the brain has not built the road yet. But if you stay consistent, even with small actions, the brain slowly builds the habit path. After some weeks, the effort feels lighter. You no longer need a huge amount of motivation. The brain does the work for you. That is why people who have strong habits seem more disciplined. They are not always more motivated or more talented than others. They simply understand how habits work. They build systems that help them take action automatically. And with each small action, their brain becomes stronger and more used to hard work. This makes achieving big goals possible, because big goals are just many small habits working together. So when we say, make hard work a habit, we are not asking you to do something impossible. We are asking you to start small, repeat often, and let your brain do the rest. When you use habits in the right way, hard work becomes easier, more natural, and even enjoyable. And with time, these habits can transform your life. Steps to make hard work a habit. Now that we understand why habits are powerful and how they form in the brain, let's talk about how you can actually make hard work a habit in your own life. Many people want to build good habits, but don't know where to start. They think they must make big changes, but that usually does not work. The truth is, strong habits begin with small, simple steps. When you follow the right steps slowly, your brain learns to accept the new behavior, and the habit becomes easier each day. The first step is to start small. Starting small is important because your brain does not like sudden, difficult changes. If you try to do too much at once, you may feel tired or stressed, and you may give up quickly. For example, instead of studying English for 1 hour every day, you can begin with just 10 minutes. 10 minutes is easy to start and easy to continue. When you start small, your brain says, "I can do this." And that positive feeling helps the habit grow. Over time, you can increase the effort, but the beginning must be gentle. The next step is to choose one goal. Many people make the mistake of trying to change everything at the same time. They try to study more, exercise more, sleep better, eat healthier, and learn new skills, all in 1 week. This almost always leads to failure. Your brain works best when it focuses on one main habit. When you choose a single goal, like, "I will practice English daily," your energy and attention become more powerful. You are more likely to succeed because your mind is not overwhelmed by too many tasks. Once you choose your goal, you need to create a clear routine. A habit grows faster when it has a fixed time and place. For example, you can decide to study English every morning after breakfast or every evening before going to bed. When the routine is clear, your brain connects the time and activity together. Soon, when the time comes, your brain automatically prepares for the habit. A clear routine makes hard work feel simple and organized instead of confusing or stressful. Another important step is to remove distractions. Distractions are things that take your attention away from your goal. They can be your phone, loud noises, social media, or even other people. When you want to build a habit, it helps to control your environment. For example, if you want to study, put your phone in another room or turn off notifications. If you want to exercise, prepare your clothes the night before. When you remove distractions, the habit becomes easier to start and easier to finish. You don't need to fight with your environment. Your environment helps you succeed. After that, it is important to stay consistent. Consistency means doing your habit every day, or at least regularly. Even on days when you feel tired or busy, doing a small version of the habit keeps the pattern alive. For example, if you usually study for 10 minutes, but today you feel exhausted, study for just 2 minutes. The action is small, but it still strengthens the habit. Consistency is more important than perfection. What matters is not how much you do, but how often you do it. To make the habit even stronger, remember to reward yourself. A reward gives your brain a good feeling after you complete the habit. This feeling helps the habit grow because your brain begins to expect something positive. The reward does not need to be big. It can be something simple like enjoying a few minutes of your favorite music, eating a small treat, or just saying, "Good job," to yourself. When you reward yourself, your brain connects the hard work with pleasure, and that makes the habit more enjoyable. Finally, it helps a lot if you track your progress. Tracking simply means writing down or marking the days when you complete your habit. You can use a notebook, a calendar, or a habit tracking app. When you see your progress growing day by day, it gives you motivation to continue. It also shows you how far you have come, even when the results are small. Tracking creates a visual record that reminds you, "I am improving," and this feeling is very powerful for habit building. When you put all these steps together, starting small, choosing one goal, creating a routine, removing distractions, staying consistent, rewarding yourself, and tracking your progress, you give your brain everything it needs to build a strong habit. Over time, hard work becomes easier, more natural, and even enjoyable. You no longer have to force yourself every day. Your habits begin to guide your actions, and your life becomes more productive, more organized, and more successful. One small step at a time. How to stay motivated. Staying motivated is one of the biggest challenges for anyone who wants to build the habit of hard work. Many people believe they must feel motivated before they start working, but this is not true. Motivation is not something that magically appears every morning. Some days you feel full of energy, and some days you feel tired, bored, or lazy. This is normal. You are human. The important thing is learning how to keep moving, even when motivation is low. When you understand how motivation really works, you can make progress on your goals every day, not just on the good days. One of the biggest reasons people lose motivation is tiredness. When you are tired, your mind becomes slow, and even simple tasks feel difficult. To deal with tiredness, the first step is to be kind to yourself. Don't expect perfect energy every day. Instead, learn to use small actions to keep your habit alive. For example, if you are too tired to study for 10 minutes, study for 2 minutes. If you are too tired to exercise for 30 minutes, stretch for 5. These small actions may seem tiny, but they help you stay on track. They remind your brain, "I can still do something," and they protect your habit from breaking. Another helpful way to deal with tiredness is to take short breaks. When your body or mind feels heavy, a 5-minute rest can give you new energy. You can walk around your room, drink water, take deep breaths, or simply close your eyes. A small break does not stop your habit. It strengthens it by helping you return with a clearer mind. Remember, rest is part of hard work. You don't lose motivation by resting. You lose motivation when you push yourself too hard for too long. Staying focused is also a challenge, especially in a world full of distractions, phones, messages, videos, noise, and social media. To stay focused, try making your environment friendly for work. Put your phone away, close unnecessary apps, or choose a quiet corner in your home. Sometimes, simply cleaning your desk can make your mind feel more ready to work. If you still struggle to focus, try setting a timer. Tell yourself, I will focus for just 5 minutes. Often, once you start, you discover that you can continue longer than you expected. Focus becomes easier when you reduce distractions and give your brain a clear start. It is important to understand that motivation often comes after action, not before it. Many people wait for motivation like it is a bus that will pick them up. But motivation works differently. When you start doing something, even a very small part of it, your brain feels a little success, and that success creates motivation. For example, when you start reading one page, you suddenly feel like reading the next page. When you start learning one new English word, you want to learn another one. The action creates the feeling. This is why starting is the most powerful part of staying motivated. When you take the first step, the next steps become much easier. On days when you don't feel like working, remember that this feeling is normal. Everyone has days like this. The key is not to let one slow day turn into a slow week. When you feel unmotivated, go back to the smallest version of your habit. Do the easy version. If you can't study for 10 minutes, study for 2 minutes. If you can't write a long paragraph, write one sentence. If you can't do all your tasks, do one task. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up. Showing up keeps your habit alive, and that small moment of action may even bring back your motivation. Another useful trick is to remind yourself of your why, the reason you started. Ask yourself, why do I want to learn English? Why do I want to work hard? What is my real goal? When you remember your purpose, even a tired day feels meaningful. It gives you the strength to continue, not because you feel motivated, but because you feel connected to your goal. So, motivation is not something you wait for. It is something you create through small actions, clear focus, gentle rest, and simple routines. When you learn how to work even on low motivation days, you become strong, consistent, and disciplined. And with time, these small actions turn into habits, and these habits lead you to success. Real-life examples. Sometimes it is easier to understand the power of habits when we see how they work in real life. Let's look at a few simple examples of people who use small daily habits to reach big goals. These examples show that you do not need to make huge changes. You only need small actions repeated again and again. First, imagine a student who wants to learn English. She dreams of speaking clearly, understanding movies, and feeling confident in conversations. At first, she tries to study for 1 hour every day. But after a few days, she feels tired, busy, and stressed. She cannot continue, so she changes her plan. Instead of studying for a long time, She studies for 10 minutes every morning after breakfast. 10 minutes feels easy. She listens to a short podcast, reads a paragraph from a book, or learns 3 new words. She also keeps a notebook to track her progress. After 1 month, she notices that her vocabulary is bigger. After 3 months, she can understand more English when she listens. Her small daily habit turns into big progress. She reaches her goal not because she studied a lot at once, but because she studied a little every day. Now think about a person who wants to start exercising. He wants to be healthier and feel stronger, but he always loses motivation after a week. The problem is that he tries to do too much too quickly. One day, he decides to try a new method. He starts with just 5 minutes of exercise every evening. 5 minutes of stretching, walking, or simple movements. It feels almost too easy, but that is the point. He wants to create a habit, not stress himself. After 2 weeks, 5 minutes becomes a normal part of his day. Then he increases it to 10 minutes. After a month, he begins to enjoy the routine. He feels proud because he is consistent. Slowly, he becomes stronger, healthier, and more energetic. His small habit builds a new lifestyle. Another example is an employee who wants to improve his skills at work. He wants to grow in his career, but he feels stuck because he does not know where to start. So he decides to spend just 15 minutes each day learning something new related to his job. Sometimes he watches a short tutorial. Sometimes he reads an article. Sometimes he practices a new tool or software. At first, he feels like 15 minutes is too little, but he keeps going. After a few months, he realizes that he knows much more than before. He feels more confident in meetings. He solves problems faster. His boss notices his improvement and gives him more responsibility. All of this happens because he chose one simple habit and followed it every day. In each of these examples, the people do not rely on motivation or big plans. They rely on small daily habits. The English student uses 10 minutes. The person who exercises uses 5 minutes. The employee uses 15 minutes. These habits are small enough to continue, but powerful enough to create real change. With time, these small actions grow into big results. The student becomes fluent, the exerciser becomes healthy, and the employee becomes skilled. Their success comes from consistency, not intensity. These stories show that anyone, including you, can reach big goals by starting small. When you repeat a small habit every day, your brain learns, your skills grow, and your life slowly changes. Hard work does not need to be heavy. It just needs to be regular. And with simple habits, you can move closer to your dreams, one small step at a time. Common mistakes and how to avoid them. When people try to make hard work a habit, they often make mistakes. These mistakes are normal, and almost everyone experiences them. The important thing is to recognize these mistakes early and learn how to avoid them. By understanding common errors, you can save time, energy, and frustration. Let's look at some of the most common mistakes and how to handle them. The first common mistake is trying to do too much at once. Many people feel motivated at the beginning and decide to make huge changes. For example, a student may decide to study English for 2 hours every day, learn 50 new words, practice speaking for an hour, and watch videos, all at the same time. At first, it feels exciting, but after a few days, it becomes overwhelming. The brain and body get tired, and motivation disappears. The result is frustration, and often people give up completely. The way to avoid this mistake is to start small. Choose one simple habit, like studying for 10 or 15 minutes daily, and increase it slowly. Small steps repeated daily are more powerful than big steps taken only once. The second mistake is giving up after small failures. Everyone makes mistakes. Sometimes you forget to practice, skip a study session, or lose focus. This is normal. Many people feel discouraged after one or two failures and think, "I can't do this," and then they quit. But habits grow over time, and consistency matters more than perfection. The key is to continue even after small failures. If you miss a day, just return to your habit the next day. One missed day does not destroy your progress. What matters is that you keep going, little by little. Perseverance, not perfection, is the secret to building habits. The third mistake is waiting for motivation. Many people believe they must feel motivated before working hard. They think, "I will study when I feel ready," or "I will work hard when I have energy." But motivation is not always present. It comes after action, not before. If you wait for motivation, you may wait forever. The solution is to start with a small action, even when you don't feel like it. For example, open your English book and read one paragraph, do one push-up, or write one sentence. Once you start, your brain receives a small reward, and motivation grows naturally. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. The fourth mistake is not having a plan. Some people want to build a habit but have no clear idea of when, where, or how to do it. Without a plan, it is easy to forget, get distracted, or feel lost. Habits need structure. A good plan includes a clear time, place, and goal. For example, you can decide, every morning after breakfast, I will study English for 10 minutes at my desk. When your plan is clear, your brain knows what to do, and starting the habit becomes easier. A plan also helps you track your progress and celebrate small wins, which strengthens the habit even more. By understanding these mistakes, you can save yourself from unnecessary frustration. Start small, forgive yourself for failures, act even when motivation is low, and create a clear plan. These strategies make hard work easier, more enjoyable, and more likely to become a lasting habit. Remember, building habits is a journey. Mistakes will happen, but they do not stop you from reaching your goals. Every day you take action, even a small action, brings you closer to success. In short, the most common mistakes, trying to do too much, giving up after small failures, waiting for motivation, and not having a plan, are normal, but they can be avoided. Awareness, patience, and consistency are your best tools. When you focus on these, hard work becomes natural, habits grow strong, and you steadily move toward your dreams. Simple daily practices to build the habit of hard work. Now that we know why hard work is important, how habits form, and how to stay motivated, let's talk about some simple daily practices you can use to build the habit of hard work. These are easy actions that anyone can do, even on busy days. The key is consistency. When you repeat small practices every day, your brain learns, your habits grow, and hard work becomes natural. One very effective practice is to create a morning routine. How you start your day often sets the tone for the rest of it. For example, you can wake up, brush your teeth, drink water, and then spend 10 minutes working on your goal, like studying English, writing, or planning your day. This routine tells your brain, now it is time to focus. When you follow the same routine every morning, your brain automatically prepares for work. you feel ready and focused, even if you were tired or distracted before. A simple morning routine is a small step, but it can make a huge difference in your day and in building the habit of hard work. Another helpful practice is to use a 10-minute work timer. Sometimes starting is the hardest part. Thinking about working for a long time can feel overwhelming, but 10 minutes is short enough that anyone can do it. Set a timer for 10 minutes and focus on one task during that time. You can study vocabulary, clean your room, practice writing, or work on a project. Once the timer ends, you can stop or continue if you feel ready. Often, starting with 10 minutes leads to doing much more because your brain gets into the work and motivation grows. The timer creates a clear start and finish, which makes work less stressful and easier to repeat every day. Using a to-do list is another simple practice that helps you build hard work habits. Write down the tasks you want to complete each day, even small ones. For example, you can write, study 5 English words, write 1 paragraph, or exercise for 10 minutes. A to-do list gives you a clear plan, reduces stress, and helps you stay focused. When you check off tasks, your brain feels a small reward, and this reward strengthens the habit. A simple to-do list is not just about organizing tasks, it is about creating small wins every day, which helps your brain connect effort with success. Speaking of rewards, celebrating small wins is an essential practice for building the habit of hard work. Every time you complete a task, take a moment to feel proud. It could be as simple as saying, "I did it," or giving yourself a small treat. Celebrating small wins helps your brain link hard work with positive feelings. Over time, your mind starts to enjoy the process of working, not just the results. Small celebrations are powerful because they make the habit enjoyable and keep you motivated to continue day after day. When you combine these daily practices, a morning routine, a 10-minute work timer, a to-do list, and celebrating small wins, you create a system that makes hard work easy and natural. These practices work even if you are busy, tired, or unmotivated. They are small, simple, and realistic, but they grow into strong habits when done consistently. The key is repetition. Each day you practice these steps, you strengthen the connection in your brain that makes hard work automatic. Over time, you will notice that working hard feels easier, more natural, and even enjoyable. In short, building the habit of hard work is not about doing big or difficult tasks all the time. It is about simple, daily practices that train your brain, build consistency, and create small rewards. When you start your morning with focus, work in short, clear intervals, plan your tasks, and celebrate achievements, you are creating the foundation for lifelong habits. These small steps, repeated every day, lead to big changes, and over time, they make hard work a natural and joyful part of your life. As we come to the end of today's episode, let's take a moment to review everything we learned about making hard work a habit. We started by understanding what hard work really is. Hard work is not about doing impossible tasks or being perfect. It is about giving your best effort, focusing on what is important, and improving little by little. We learned that hard work matters because it helps you grow, build skills, gain confidence, and move closer to your goals. Then we explored why habits are so powerful. Habits train your brain, make actions automatic, and save energy. When hard work becomes a habit, it becomes easier, natural, and even enjoyable over time. We also talked about how to build the habit of hard work step by step. We learned that starting small is better than trying to do too much. Choosing one goal, creating a clear routine, removing distractions, staying consistent, rewarding yourself, and tracking your progress are all key steps to success. We also discussed motivation, which often comes after action, not before it. Some days you will feel tired, but small actions, even 2 or 5 minutes, help you keep moving forward. Real-life examples showed us how students, employees, and people trying to exercise can achieve big results through small daily habits. And we explored common mistakes, like giving up after a failure or waiting for motivation, and how to avoid them with awareness and patience. Finally, we shared simple daily practices like a morning routine, using a 10-minute timer, writing a to-do list, and celebrating small wins. These small actions repeated every day build the foundation for long-term success. Now, I want to encourage you. Building the habit of hard work is not easy at first, but it is possible for everyone. You don't need talent, a perfect plan, or endless energy. All you need is small, consistent actions and the willingness to keep going, even on days when it feels hard. Every small step matters. Every effort counts. And over time, those small steps become strong habits, and those habits shape your life. Imagine yourself 1 month from now, or 3 months from now, or even a year from now. The small daily actions you take today will grow into real achievements. Your future self will thank you for starting now. To help you begin, here is a simple challenge for this week. Choose one small task related to your goal, something you can do in 10 minutes or less every day. It could be learning 5 new English words, writing 1 paragraph, stretching for 5 minutes, or organizing your workspace. Set a specific time in your day to do it. Track your progress, and celebrate each day you complete it. Focus on showing up, not on doing it perfectly. By the end of the week, notice how much better you feel when you practice this small action consistently. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Code Your English. I hope you learned something useful, and I hope you feel inspired to start building your own habit of hard work. Remember, small steps repeated every day create big results over time. You are capable, and you can start today. Keep going, stay consistent, and enjoy the process of learning and growing. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Goodbye for now, and keep coding your English one step at a time.